The GDC's origins are in the labor movement. The Twin Cities General Defense Committee is the defense arm of the Industrial Workers of the World, which is a radical union. And the GDC's task is to organize for the defense of working class people. So while the IWW union fights for workers primarily on the job, the GDC takes that task into the rest of life.
This is about solidarity amongst the entire working class. We're all in this together. And the more we work together, the more effective we're going to be at protecting each other.
People are starting to understand that, we can't just sit back and ask for all of these things that we need. That when any member of the working class is under attack, you have to stand up and fight back.
You have people who have your interest at heart, who can show up. Some of them have specific training that can help, de-escalate a situation, deal with, making sure people are safe.
When I think of community self-defense in survivor work, I think of what networks we can build, what conversations we can have.
A housemate is having a mental health crisis, or there's domestic violence going on, and we respond. People in a neighborhood can come together, learn how to do these things, share skills with each other, and then go out and take action that can potentially prevent the police from killing.
The 4th Precinct occupation was in response to the murder of Jamar Clark, who was murdered while handcuffed on the ground by the police. I was impressed to see the commitment and the seriousness with which General Defense Committee members were organized in taking action.
Police are killing people. What can we do about it? For starters, we can go and start videotaping them and documenting them, and we can be trained in how to do it safely, and we can potentially prevent them from killing more people by doing that.
It's been getting harder and harder for them to get away with and justify not having any indictment of cops and any firings. In December in the Twin Cities, there's a family who, totally unprovoked, a police officer shot into their car. There were children in the car. The GDC had a very significant role in pushing that incident to the forefront, working with that family, pushing forward, doing press conferences, putting pressure on the city. And through that continuous activity, the city settled with the family $150,000. In this instant, not only was he fired, but again, being charged. It's very significant and shows the power of direct action. In the Twin Cities, we have so many different working committees. It is inspiring to work with these amazing people who have all these different skill sets, and I feel myself being pushed. I've definitely grown tremendously as an organizer, being part of this organization.
Basically, harm reduction is a set of ideas and strategies towards reducing the harm of drug use, both with the individual and society as a whole. The belief is that when you're looking at the actual harm that drugs do, it has to go beyond just the direct use of drugs and see the policies and structural problems that kind of feed the drug problem, and racism being, directly right on top. So when we look at a society that's always basically said you're powerless, blah, 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 it turns the table and it creates more of an empowerment, which is really kind of always been the goal of working class, self-defense is empowering from a bottom-up perspective.
I joined the GDC because the GDC has consistently shown up for me and other survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence in ways that state infrastructure has failed. I was asking the GDC to come at maybe 3 days' notice, not very much notice. The secretary treasurer at the time looks around the room and says, like, can we just, I don't know if you know how much we support you, so let's just do a show of hands. Who is like going to be there for you? And the whole room raised their hands. I never like really felt that kind of support before.
We're articulating that we need to organize against this entire system. So it's not just Donald Trump and the alt-right that we're fighting, but it's this whole system that bred him. Because many of the elements that Trump is taking advantage of were laid by governments of both the Democrats and the Republicans.